What's up guys, Mr. SLIN here with another fan demo review. If you want me to review your gameplay, check out our community Discord at discord.gg/MrSlin. Today's demo review comes from Lkfoster1, who plays Medic in Steel on Sunshine. Oh yeah. Alright, so he's coming out to middle here on the blue team. And already a little bit slow on the rollout, so kind of not having that map positioning, the map control that he's looking for. As the round starts off, soldier bombs in, gets the frag, and not a lot you could have done about that one there, my friend. Not a lot you could have done there. Yeah. It's tough. I haven't played Steel ever, so I don't really know what rollouts are like at this skill level, but one thing I do know is that they're not perfect, which is fine. That's totally fine for rollouts to not be perfect. I just want to see you guys get out there and take as much ground as you can. Obviously, having a faster rollout will help you get across out of your choke into their side of the map. But if they're beating you to middle and your team is a little bit slower, maybe a little bit hurt on the way there, then it's going to be hard for you to win. So at the point you realize where you're not going to win, you need to be leaving a little bit sooner so you don't get bombed out by that soldier. Anyways, they're going to push in with Uber on the right side. Good job kiting the Uber away. A couple of your teammates going down here. You're already down numbers, but good frags coming in. And I like the way you're playing behind the point here. That's one of the safest places to play, is behind the point. It's only their medic alive, so you know you can push out. And looks like you're already getting cap time on second point here with 70% advantage. So that's a really nice last point hold there by you and your team. A lot of frags coming in for you guys. Was able to help hold that down. So now you're going to start pushing through the choke. Now in this position, just recognize that it's a 4 versus 6, right? Oh, you have a couple players rolling out with you. They're a little bit delayed, but in front of you is 6 players. So actually your teammates are getting out there quite quickly. But you know, you don't really have your buff scout behind you. You don't have a buff demo behind you either. So you're going to lose a player at the start of it. And I think his name is Mike. Mike was just going a little bit too fast to get in. Now you're finally walking in. Soldier bombs you at the choke. You pop the Uber. You kill the soldier behind you. There's another one behind you as well that also goes down. And you guys have good frags here to push forward. One thing that I would coordinate or try to coordinate next time is as you're pushing forward with that Uber, keep track of who's trying to cap the point and who's not. If your demo man is trying to push the choke point, keep the Uber on your demo man. Like he's pushing forward there at the choke. Keep the beam on him. Let the scout who's behind you capture the point without getting flashed. Anyways, you guys are pushing forward and you guys have really good number advantage. You know they're nowhere near Uber because their medic backed out of your last point alone. So you can continue pushing into second point here, getting some capture point time down, but the scout behind you is wrecking. He's on a 4K and you guys immediately need to back up. It's 3 versus 6 and there's no way you're going to be able to hold that. Soy sauce is on the point. You go down and that's unfortunate. Yeah, you knew there was a scout behind you. It's just that your demo man was pretty adamant about pushing. And yes, 10 seconds ago, pushing was totally the right call back when it was 5-on-3. However, once the scout got 2 kills behind you, you needed your demo man to turn around and you need to continue backing up. And you have no choice but to back up. Push into that scout behind you and try and back up into the cafe as quickly as you can so you don't get trapped by the respawning red team. Now, you know they have Uber advantage because the medic never died there, and you're trying to get out of a sticky situation, unfortunately going down. In my opinion, when you're holding with Uber disadvantage, you never want to be here because they can do that push out of Valley. You usually want to be here behind the point, and then when they push out of Valley, back up into the shutter. That way you have enough time to escape. So I think you know that already. I think you just didn't know that they had Uber, so that happens sometimes. That happens to me actually quite frequently. I lose track of the Ubers, and doing your best to keep track of everything it's difficult to do, but sometimes you lose track every once in a while. It looks like you know their medic is still dead and you've got a 20% Uber advantage, so you should be getting ready to push out of last. Your heavy is on heavy temporarily as defense, but he should look to swap to scout a little bit faster so that way you can start building Uber and start pushing out. So what you're going to see is a lot of higher level teams. What they're going to do is they're going to build Uber really quickly on fourth point, on your second point, that is. They're going to build Uber really quickly. And if you're not building, you're going to lose that 20% Uber advantage. So make sure you're building. Actually, it's already kind of disappearing here. You're at like 15 to 20% Uber advantage now. So you really want to take like a pocket soldier or a scout or just someone who's hurt and just keep the beam on them, and that way you're constantly building that Uber. Actually, you're back up to 20% Uber advantage. You could go for that push here if you wanted to. With the soldier going down, that's a really great pick for you guys. You should probably go for that play. So your demo man's peeking out, maybe throwing some cannonballs on the battlements, dies to the trap, and at this point you should call it off. So good call here to not pursue this. Whoa, whoa, you did decide to pursue it. Oh man, I thought you weren't gonna go. I was like, man, yeah, this is the right call. Don't go in. You know, it was 5-on-5 even Ubers at that point. You kind of stuck your neck out just a little bit too far, and then you ended up popping your Uber there. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. Kind of unfortunate. Excuse me. Next time, what you'd like to do, or what I'd like to see you do, is it's 6-on-5. If you can't make it through the battlements, that's totally okay. Drop down and go underneath and to the left. That's one way to push out. Another way is to try and clear the shutter. But there's 3 different doorways that you could choose from to try and break into second point with Uber advantage. So, not a bad first round. You guys had some counterplay in there. Obviously, it wasn't perfect, but into the second mid fight we go. And right here, your demo man's at half health. I would try and arrow him next time. A couple of your teammates are hurt, but you're getting picks. Time to get aggressive. Nice crossbows into one of your soldiers at least. And you guys, yeah, that's good. So, I mean, generally speaking, you had a good middle. I like the way that you were positioning yourself in that you were not being too aggressive and that you were not taking extra damage that you didn't need to take. One thing I'd like to see you work on for next time is with those crossbows, ask your teammates to stand still. If your teammates are clearly trying to dodge and clearly trying to go for that movement, you know, sometimes it's better to just keep the beam on them. Some healing is better than no healing. All right. So, you know you have that 80% Uber advantage. You know they're probably setting up a sentry gun at last here, and you're getting your respawners back into lobby with you so you can start the push. I like the choice to go down the left side here. I'm not quite sure why your scout backed off. He was in a perfect position to take that Uber in. And then he kind of just, I don't know if you guys were on the same page or not. Maybe he counter-called you and said, I'm going to go right lobby instead. Or maybe he thought you're going to take the Uber in on a soldier instead. But a scout demo Uber is perfectly fine there down the left side. One thing I saw that was kind of confusing for you is that 3 people went on the Uber. You had a soldier, a scout, and a demo man. And it's hard for you as a medic to keep the Uber on all 3 people. So in the future, I recommend only taking 2 people in on the Uber. A 3rd person can come in, but just recognize that you can only really keep the Uber on like 2 people at any given time unless you're really sealed at flashing. And even if you're really sealed at flashing, your Uber is going to fade very quickly. So you want that Uber to last a little bit longer. Typically, taking 3 people in on the Uber is not optimal. Or it's optimal, but under different contexts where like the 3rd person who's taking it only gets a flash or only gets a small portion of the Uber. So for example, if you're taking scout demo in on the Uber, that's totally fine. Your soldier can jump in too, flash your soldier, but that's all he's going to get because the rest of your Uber is going to that scout, going to that demo man so he can take down the sentry gun. So now you know that they had Uber advantage. They're pushing into you at the choke. Really nice call for you to back off of here and kite that away. I love this from your team. All 6 of you guys staying alive, kiting beautifully. Watch for that soldier bombing you from cafe. Oh. All right, you saw him for a moment. I think you saw him. Go back and rewind, you'll see it. Like, you looked to the right and you saw him come out of the cafe. I think you kind of forgot about him, or maybe you weren't really looking at him, and he was able to surprise you. But in the future, once you see a potential bomber coming at you, you could try for a no-look dodge, but it's better to just look at the guy and try and dodge the rockets by looking at the soldier, looking at the threat. All right, so even Ubers for you guys, and you're attempting to peek the choke to see if there's any opportunities for you or your team. Again, not a bad decision to make, but it's kind of risky. The team that holds defensively has what's called defensive advantage. Defensive advantage means they can hold better positions. They can hold high ground. They can stand near health packs. They have defensive advantage. In addition, you have to walk through a choke point in order to engage, and obviously puts you at a disadvantage as well, making it harder for you and your team to dodge. So typically dry pushing when your team does not have control of middle is typically the wrong decision. However, in this case, it's 6 versus 5. Dry pushing is totally okay because they're down a player. So I'd like to see you guys try and break in Nice kill on the scout there. That's a great opportunity to go. You know the Ubers are even, so you want to make sure that the enemy team pops first. I love that you guys are just spamming, just feeling things out. You definitely had opportunities to go in there, to definitely to go for that push. Now, I think what you might be thinking here is that it's a one-man sacrifice, so maybe you don't want to commit, and that's totally fine too. What you did right there, sacrificing one of your soldiers in to try and get the force on the top side, perfectly acceptable decision. That's fine too. Either way. Here, they bomb into your Demo Man, and you decide not to pop the Uber, but then you change your mind, and then it's too late. You guys are getting good kills anyways. You should be able to still fight. I initially like your choice of positioning in that you backed away to ensure that you stayed alive, but once you saw that it was safe and that you had a scout in front of you, I would prefer that you stay with your scout instead of dropping in underneath the point into water. Still, you guys are playing very, very safe. A lot of times you have a one-man advantage and you're just simply choosing not to push. Go for those, go for the 6-on-5s, go for the 5-on-4s. Obviously, it's not always the best situation to fully commit to every single fight, but at least try and make something work, because while you have the one-man number advantage, even if someone gets picked off, it's okay. Still even numbers, still a fine situation for you guys to hold on to. And when it's 5-on-4, you can totally go for a play. Now, when I say go for a play, what does that mean? It doesn't mean you have to fully all in your players, completely committing to that push. What it means is somebody can peek somewhere, maybe find an opening and say, hey, I'm going to die, I'm going to sacrifice. And then everyone spams, contributes damage in, but the guy who's sacrificing commits to dying, just commits to being in there. That's what you should have gone for. I really don't like you peeking in for that crossbow. You have so much to lose and so little to gain. If you hit the crossbow, you might do 60 damage to a person. That's not enough to get a kill. It's not enough to get a force. If you peek a little bit too wide and you eat a rocket or you eat a trap, you'll get your Uber force. And that's exactly what happened to you last time you were holding last point. So keep that in mind. When you're getting punished like that, it's not a fluke. You definitely should not be sticking your neck out that far. Alright, still peeking in from the battlements, trying to see what kind of damage you can do. Their medic dropping down to 20 health, but still not enough to force the Uber. Your team is holding very aggressive in lobby. This is what's known as a lobby hold. Lobby holds are good sometimes, bad others. In this case, the red team is playing very passively, so you're getting away with it. But a good red team in this situation should be able to force you out of the lobby. Alright, you guys are peeking forward, maybe running a spy here to see if you can drop their medic. Your spy is running in underneath through the water. Oh man. Now, while this is happening, you need to be thinking about maybe the red team is running a spy of their own. So every once in a while, my recommendation is that you turn to the right and check to see if there's a spy. You don't want it to distract you, you don't want it to throw your game off, but it's worth it every once in a while to just turn around in case there's a spy. But it's also possible that Hexany, being a really good spy player, could have called out that they have no spy. When you're playing spy, you can check to see if the other team is running a spy. In this case, you might have checked to see that they're running a spy and found out they're not. Looks like your Demo Man gets picked off on the battlements. This is really bad for your team right now. Hexany has to go for his play as soon as possible. Looks like he's going for it now, trying to distract the enemy team as one of the soldiers gets picked off by the spy. You force their Uber and you don't pop Uber at all. This is an amazing engineer play by Mao Zedong. Scout is in, he gets the kill on that as well. Not really the best Uber. I like the idea that you had there, which is that the enemy team was in front of you and you had an opportunity to like jump your soldier into them. But the problem with Sunshine on the right side of last is that the ceilings are very, very low. And so that makes it difficult for a soldier to get a good bomb into the lobby. And unfortunately for you, your pocket soldier got juggled up into the air at the exact moment that you wanted to get push in with that Uber. If you had a scout with you, you would have done so much more damage. But you had an engineer and a couple other classes, and yeah, just the stars did not line up. And in that situation, you could have read it to be like, okay, I probably should not pop this Uber. I typically don't like to pop that Uber advantage unless it's just a really juicy Uber or if I have a scout with me to finish off the kills. This is a very delicate situation for you right now, being such low health. You need to escape as soon as possible. Oh my gosh, such good movement. Nice dodging. But you're about to get cut off from behind and ooh. Quite unfortunate for you, but Lumbo comes in big for your team. And you guys are going to be able to hold on to second point. They have Uber advantage though, and the potential to take the entire round with that Uber advantage. So got to be very careful when you spawn. Next time you're in that situation, really be careful about your positioning. You were kind of trying to push up to the second point down the deep right side. And the way I read it is that you were half health and should not have committed your body as hard. If you're playing closer to Shadow, you can get the health pack. You can stay safer. So just be careful about that for next time. So you know they have Uber advantage, so you need to be running away from them. Again, playing by that Shadow, perfect. This is exactly what you should be doing on Uber disadvantage. This is perfect positioning. This is really, really good. I wish your teammates, I could say the same for them, but oh no. Yeah, the rotations have to be a little bit faster next time. So once you've backed out of Shutter, you know that you have no opportunity to contest second point because the enemy demo man can sticky you out of Shutter. You should rotate through last point to the top left and then do a battlements or do a bottom left push. Alternatively, you can have someone watch underneath so that way you don't need to back up to last. But you did not have someone watching underneath, and so that soldier is able to bomb you and kill you there. And so that's why I'm saying your rotation has to be faster to stop that guy from getting a free bomb onto you. Alright, so you know they have 60% Uber advantage. We're waiting for them. We're waiting for the imminent doom of them to push in. Underneath they go. Onto your heavy. Your heavy backing up behind the wall. This is very intelligent. Backing into spawn, even more intelligent. Really nice play there by, I think it was Hexany. Really nice defense. Man, you guys have a really, really nice Sunshine defense. You guys are the masters of Sunshine defense. That is really nice. And you have Uber advantage. You're about to cut off their medic at the choke. Oh, everything going so well for your team right now. See how your demo man's already pushing forward and pressuring the forward spawn? You should be up there helping him out. Alright, time to do the push. Into mid. I like how you're delaying, looking for a bombing soldier so that you don't force Uber prematurely. Really, really nice kiting. Oh my. That's just... everything I've seen in the last 45 seconds of gameplay has been spot on, Foster. Super good. Alright, I want to continue seeing you guys push into them. They're down a player. And you have 60% Uber advantage, so you should be going for that push as soon as possible. I like how you guys are being slow and methodical about it, not making mistakes. That's fine. I would like to see you move a little faster, but I'd rather see you move slow and steadily and not make mistakes than rush the play and mess up. So it's the kind of turtle in the hair. You guys are playing this so well. Into last point you go on the two-man advantage. You know their medic is nowhere near Uber. Soldier is very hurt right now. Heavy comes out the left side. Good damage onto him. Great last point pressure. Your soldiers are stacking the point a little bit early, especially when you don't have the second point captured yet. So I would prefer that they don't stack like that and instead camp the spawn doors. But just a really well-played final round there. All right. So that's all the feedback that I have for you in that demo review. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind right from the first round, make sure your team is practicing those rollouts because rollouts are so key to your improvement as a player and your ability to win mid fights. As you get better as a player, opponents will just get better at doing the rollout and you're going to lose opportunities to win mid simply because their rollout is better than yours. So practicing the rollout is going to be key. Second piece of advice that I have for you is make sure you're keeping track of those Ubers. I saw you got caught by their Uber once or twice, and in a couple situations playing a little bit closer than you needed to when you knew they had Uber advantage. So make sure you're keeping that in mind as well. Finally, the reason why you guys were winning is because you were playing the picks, you were playing the advantages, and you were playing confidently. And I would like to see you have done that much more often in the match. Earlier in the match, I commented that you had a 6-on-5 opportunity to push, 5 versus 4 opportunity to push, just different number advantage opportunities to go. And only in that final round did we finally see you actually start doing that. So I'd like to see more of that in the future. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.